Hey everyone, Micah here. I am the technical director here at the Village, and I wanted to share a quick word from my devotions this week that I thought you guys would really dive into as well. So we're going to jump off. We are in Jeremiah 29. The context is that Israel is essentially no more. Jerusalem had fallen. Entire communities had been uprooted and dragged into Babylon. This is a place that didn't share their culture, their faith, their values at all. The Israeli people and God's people were just they weren't uncomfortable. They were grieving, they were disoriented, they were unsure whether God was still with them. And in the middle of this crisis, you have a wave of false prophets that are saying, don't worry, this will be over fast. God's going to bring you home any minute now. This is a comforting message to them. It's not true. Promising quick fixes like this, they have really no bounds to promises or no results for these quick fixes. This causes the Israeli people to be passive. They don't actively engage with what God is saying. Oftentimes, I think even as us as leaders, we tend to fall into this passiveness of day in and day out and just doing tasks. And Jeremiah comes along and he's saying, hey, God is telling us to build houses, plant gardens, marry, raise families, and seek the peace and prosperity of Babylon. In other words, he's saying, hey, settle in. I'm here with you still. I haven't left you. I haven't forsaken you, but I'm here. And for me, I think God has to reset our expectations before he gives us a promise that we all know in 29:11. It's not a promise of immediate rescue. There's a long-term thing here. There's a long-term faithfulness. As it turns out, this exile would last 70 years. That's more than a lifespan for some of these people. So they may not see the result, but their children will, and their grandchildren will. God isn't absent. He's working on a timeline bigger than their moment of pain. I think we often drive towards two extremes. We either want a quick solution, or sometimes we can assume that God isn't working. When things feel slow and unclear, that's when we get into that trap. I think really Jeremiah 29 is a call for us to go deeper into a steadier form of leadership. One that builds where we are, not where we wish we were. I know in production and tech, we can do that all the time. It's like, we wish we had this. We wish we were here. But, sometimes we have to refocus to say, we're here. This is where we need to build. I think he's also calling us to choose faithfulness over hurry. Sometimes, man, I'm the king of not being patient. I want, when we have to change something, something has to change for it to be better. But in the journey is where sometimes the lesson is. I think what we're calling to be invested in people, which we do really well here at the Village. Even if it feels temporary, investing in people is the best way for us to be able to minister to people as well as connect. I think it seeks the health and the peace of the communities that we lead. I think oftentimes we get lost in this day-to-day thing that we realize, hey, we're leading people, but at the same time, for us to lead people, we have to be in a place of actively engaging as well. My kind of core thought of this is like, my team doesn't need a leader who has a quick fix or a rapid answer all the time. If I have that consistently, then I need to call myself into check. They need a leader that knows how to be faithful in the middle of uncertainty, the middle of slow growth, the middle of unexpected seasons. God's plans definitely do not hinge on our pace or comfort. And we've learned that time and time again. But we have to remember that he is present, he is purposeful, and he is absolutely working in the places that we never planned to be. Thanks. See you Sunday.